can't imagine why they called it the Witch City when they knew nothing about witches. If they had indeed had the intention of washing away the harm and the horror that had been done here, then I could understand calling it the Witch City. But they really haven't done that. They've subtly washed it away and under a rug and said, oh, those were just women being persecuted for hysteria and misunderstanding, intolerance. They weren't witches at all. That's so subtle. That says, well, if the definition that they have says that witches consorted with devils, then they weren't witches, meaning they were witches or devil worshippers. It's so confusing. And they haven't cleared that. They haven't changed that at all. To this very minute, there are people who said, well, historically it says that witches consorted with devils, and that's the end of it. That's very frightening, isn't it? I think they do the witch and the broomstick because I don't think they ever thought they'd have to face a witch again. I think they thought they could get away with it being cute and interesting and bring money to this town. And so they would exploit it. A horrible thing that happened here, they would exploit it to make money. And there are many businesses in this town right now that have an ugly old hag with pointed hat, you know, looking gruesome and ugly as some kind of symbol. There's a shop that has a soft sculpture, life-size, in front of it. The Salem football team is called the Witches. It has ugly, ugly, horrible picture on their t-shirts. Why they would want to wear it is beyond me. I think it's exploitation done out of ignorance because they didn't know, but now they do. It may be in the past, when it was beginning to be called Witch City, they didn't see a witch, they didn't know what witches were. They had an excuse then to name it Witch City under the wrong auspices. However, now, with 24 to 4,000 witches in Salem, I think it's okay to call it Witch City if they explain what witches are, and please get us off the broom. I mean, it's not that we don't want to use one for flying, we haven't figured it out yet. I mean, in this traffic, it would be a wonderful thing to do. Being an outspoken witch and wearing traditional ritual robes all the time, I found it very difficult to work at IBM. So, or the local library. So I have then started a business of my own, and I do psychic counseling. I have written books, and I'm earning a living by writing books on the subject and teaching. Lecturing is the thing I do the most. I lecture here in Salem, and I do get paid for my lecturing. I feel that anyone who criticizes and says that we are all exploiting witchcraft, I think we're earning a living. I think Salem has a right to portray its history and the supposed witch history of 1692. I think they have to be responsible for today. I think witches have a right to earn a living, just like anyone else. And exactly, we have to understand that witches did not name this town Witch City. There are witches all over the globe. But if you look at it from a tourist point of view, and tourism is the second largest business in the world, anywhere along this coastline you can find maritime history. Up and down the East Coast, up and down the West Coast. Every city can claim maritime history, but not many cities can claim witch history. And making witch history, which means the witches are making magic today.